Cycle Jerks.
Hey, get out of the road, dummy.
Cycle Jerks Podcast.
He passed on July 13th, 1996.
Yeah, man.
Have
Yeah.
I ever told the story of what we were doing that day?
No.
So we had a idea. Dan had an idea where we would go out and go around the country and show all the new bikes to bike shops in their area, because everybody was showing bikes at the trade shows. Here's all the new bikes. And if you're lucky, you get half an hour of the dealer's time at the trade show. And they got to go in and they got to write their whole, season forecast there at the bike shop. And you sales guys are walking them around, taking orders, writing business. But you didn't really get enough time. And they saw everybody else's bike at the same time.
Yep.
And what if we went out to them? We put these bikes in a moving van, went out to these hotels, set up our own mini trade show in the hotel, and let them walk around for 5 hours, 6 hours to see things, and we could all make our own presentations. And I got to make my presentation about the helmet division, and we would talk to them about everything. Mark Peterman went along. He would talk to them about all the design influence behind the bikes. And it was really great. And so the first year we did it, we did 8 cities. No, we did 10 cities. 10 cities in 28 days.
Oh, man.
Grueling. It was grueling. You were just on the road the entire time. And it's going great. We're writing business. The salesman didn't have to go all the way to the trade show to do it. It's their own area. So we would be, in Florida. We went to St. Louis. We went to Chicago. We went to New Jersey. And so on July 13th, we go to Boston. And we get there and we put all the bikes in we had to fly the bikes there because it was such a short turnaround. We didn't have our big moving van. Wow. So the bike in a U-Haul, pretty big U-Haul, but we got all these bikes in there and we brought maybe a total of 30 bikes. We go to the hotel, park the U-Haul in the parking lot. We go out to a nice dinner in Boston, come back, we wake up, and we're going to set up now in the hotel. So we go out to get the bikes in the parking lot. And I don't know if you remember the late, great Ed Hickey.
Oh, yeah.
Ed was kind of the managing kind of the details. He was, he was kind of the on-the-ground kind of guy.
Yeah.
And we're like, Ed, go. He's kind of the gopher too. We kind of abused Ed a little bit. But Ed, go get the truck, pull it around to the ballroom. He comes back like, where's Ed? We can't find him. Finally comes back maybe 10 minutes later. He goes, guys, I can't find the truck. And
oh no.
We're like, what? And he's mad at me. He's like, Armas, what did you do with the truck? It's not funny. It's not funny. I said, Ed. Move the truck. I promise I didn't move the truck. And Peterman is like, this is not fun, you guys. Where's the truck? Let's go. We go out. The truck is gone. It's gone. Stolen.
Wow.
We're there 30 in the morning in Boston. Our whole show, it's got all the computers, all the speakers, everything for the trade shows in this truck, and it's stolen.
Wow.
Prototype bikes that don't exist anywhere else. And so we're sitting there and we're waiting for Dan Bond to come down. And we're like, this is going to suck, And he comes down and he looks just bummed out. And I'm like, who told him? Who told him? How does he know this?
Right.
And we're like, we got some bad news, Dan. He goes, what is it? And we said, the truck got stolen. And he has his head down and he goes like, that's the least of our problems.
Oh, wow.
What? Something worse than the truck got stolen? And he said, Richard is dead.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
nobody spoke. Nobody spoke. Nobody said how. Nobody spoke for, I'm going to say, 10 minutes. We sat there. I think we all cried. And I sat there, and then Dan told us what happened about going up to Big Bear, crashing his motorcycle. And we sat there, and for some reason, I just said, well, we got to find a way to put on this show then.
Yeah.
We don't, we don't have any handouts. We don't have anything. It's, now it's probably about 8 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. There's nobody at GT because everybody is in Big Bear for the Norba race there.
Oh, wow.
And I said, Richard would kick our ass if we did not put on this show.
Yeah.
Always, listen, nothing stops you, right? There is
Right.
nothing to stop us. So we all got on the phone, and all the R&D guys came down, and they got to GT. Billy Griggs and everybody was down there just building new prototypes. We talked to the Georgers in Buffalo, and any of the bikes that were kind of a carryover, if they had them there, they were bringing them over. We got the art department came down from Big Bear, got there, and this is all everybody through tears. Everybody, we just lost our leader.
Yeah.
They built new booklets for us to hand out, and everybody put it all together, and they put it on an airplane. And Brian Wilson, I don't know if you remember Brian,
Yep.
but horrific guy.
Yeah.
He gets on a red eye from Orange County to Boston. We meet the truck at 6 o'clock in the morning at the airport, and we bring everything we got to the hotel. We set it up. I mean, the thing starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. It normally took us half a day to set it up. We didn't have all the bikes, but we set this thing up in the ballroom, and the dealers showed up. And that's when they learned, some of them had heard before that, but most of them learned that Richard had died and that our truck was stolen. Here's what we had. And we had a video presentation. We went out, we bought a computer, we rented all the other stuff. And we put on that show, and with broken hearts, and just a lot of just dedication to the brand. And I think that was the thing about working at GT
Yeah.
is people really loved the brand. They loved the company. They loved Richard. A lot of them loved each other. It was a good group, and we put that show on. And I
Yeah.
don't know anything else in business I've ever done that I'm more proud of than the fact that, we put on an entire show. It took us months to prepare it the first time, and we did it overnight the second time. And got it done.
Man, Bill, thanks. Thanks for sharing that story. That it's hard not to get emotional, like just knowing the gravity of the whole thing, and then I can imagine that the dealers probably felt a real sense of
Loss.
loss, but also hopefully they understood. I mean, the moment, that was just, man, that's wild. And to
That
put it all together,
Stu, the other part of it is that date sticks out of my mind. I can rattle it off
yeah.
because it was the 1 year anniversary of my own dad's death.
Oh,
So I was already up and moping around. And I just it was crazy. And so the emotion that was there and on everybody we talked to at GT during the day that were building the bikes and putting stuff together, all the conversations through tears, because Richard Long was just the kind of guy. He was your boss. Yeah, he was your boss. And if you didn't do something right, he told you that you did it wrong. He absolutely would tell you that it was wrong. But then he'd give you a pat on the back and you're out the door, and you really want to do it right. You really want to do it not partly because you don't want to get chewed again, but partly because you wanted Richard to be proud of what you did.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was, even though we were about the same age, he's a few years older than me, but um, he is kind of a replacement father figure for me, in the with the loss of my own dad. But
Yeah.
yeah, everybody wanted to do their best for Richard, and I think that brought the company closer together.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd only met Richard a couple of times at BMX races. I met him one time. Yeah, I was trying to get on. Pop Lemon was running the team, and I was trying to get my. I didn't quite have enough to get on Factory GT. I wasn't quite at the level. But
That
I was a nice guy, and and I was trying to talk my way in, and I met Richard. Pop introduced me to Richard, and we had a really good talk. And the guy was just like I really admired him, and like he just had this leadership, like when I think of a leader, I think of Richard, and I didn't even work alongside him at all, but just maybe because of the position, partially because maybe because I was younger and the position that he held at GT. And you're right, GT was the brand. I mean, when you think about um, the GT Good Times parties, there was just so many positive, cool things about GT. Never mind, we owned BMX back then,
right,
and we're making great strides with mountain bikes. And I always felt like GT was great at all the low-hanging fruit. Like, like the big, like I remember the nationals. I think it was Andrew Herrick was like I don't know if you were involved with this, but the hats.
yeah. Every Norba event had its own hat.
Right. And
Yeah,
and the whole hillside would just be littered with people wearing GT hats. It's like, man, that's really smart, you know. But yeah, it was super fun. I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity that I did to work there when I was at that age, and left such an impression on me. And really, so many things were like how things should be done. And it's not always the way when at different companies, but the dealers love the brand, the riders love the brand, and the whole unit at GT, everybody was all in, and
right.
it was really fun to be a part of that.
Absolutely. Fun place to work.
Yeah.
Really work. The sales team was a little bit older, but all the people that worked in the building were young.
Yeah.
A really young crew.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't tell you how many rental cars that they crashed. And, they just did so many stupid things. Got naked. They brought in, like, if we had to work late, sometimes we'd work through the night. And why are there strippers here in the building? Like what is this about?
Oh my gosh.
So
Well, yeah. I mean,
there was a
like,
lot of young people, so much energy. We made so many mistakes. And I was kind of one of the older guys. So it was like, wow.
I remember one time I was at one of the Good Times parties, and there was like this guy. They had this band and the saxophone. It had like a saxophone and like had a horn division.
Common sense. They were
Oh
awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Common sense. That's it. So the guy that was playing sax, I go over. I'm at the keg, and he's got this. He's there, and I was like, "Hey, man, you guys are great." And he says, "Oh, thanks," and then he like right in front of me, he just takes the beer and just and it spills all down the front of him, and then he's got like a little goatee or something. He's just like, "Wow," and I'm like, dude. And he goes, I didn't come here to have a bad time. I was just like, okay, right on, dude.
Hey, I'm with the band.
Yeah, it was wild. But if you like what we're doing here at Cycle Jerks Podcast and you would like to support us, please check out our website at cyclejerkspodcast.buzzsprout.com. Hit the subscribe button. We shout out all subscribers. So
get on it. Another way you can support the podcast would be by giving us a 5-star review on whatever streaming platform that you're listening on. We appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Cycle jerks.
Hey, get out of the road, dummy.
Cycle Jerks Podcast.